Hello, and welcome to episode 16 of RaiderIO's Weekly No Leaver. I'm your host, Sean, and today I'm joined by the one and only UI King, Luxthos. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. I wouldn't go as far as saying UI King, but hey, listen, I like to make them.
I'll say it for you. You don't have to. I'll say it with a full chest. UI King. It's great to have another Canadian on the show. There are so many Americans and Europeans that end up on the show, and it's always a bonus when I get a chance to sneak another Team Canada in here. So we like it.
Yeah, there's a couple of us, but we're rare.
We are. We need a Canadian event. Like Europe has Gamescom and LFG, and America has BlizzCon. Canada needs BlizzCan.
Yeah, during the winter too, just to show them what it's
right.
really like to be here.
We could handle toques. We could handle Blizzard labeled toques.
Can handle Blizzard, yeah.
Sure. I dig it. So Luxthos, I want to get right into it. Why don't you tell us how you first came to the world of Warcraft?
Oh, wow. Actually, I've been playing since day one. I've been playing for quite a while. Back in the day, I was a big fan of Warcraft 3 back then, but I wasn't playing the RTS. I was a lot into Dota and all that kind of stuff, and Diablo. I was big on the Blizzard game. And then they announced they were coming with an MMO for World of Warcraft, and I started chatting with my friends about it, trying to hype them up. I think I was the only one, though, that was like super into it at the time, but I was trying to sell them the game, I guess. And then I just started playing. Day one, it came out, got my copy at the store. I was 14 years old at the time, and the rest is history. I've been playing pretty much every expansion since then.
I love it.
With some breaks, but you know.
What about the game like got its hooks into you that way? Like how did you know right away?
I mean, I was such a fan of like all the Warcraft lore and like all the drawings. I was a lot into all the voices, just the every aspect of the game. I was like already a huge fan. I was already super sold on. And then we just went in, and I just like everything sounded the same and looked the same as Warcraft 3, and it just felt right. It felt home, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just clicked for me. It just really clicked. And then all my real life friends started playing as well. And then it just became like this massive community thing. It wasn't even about the game anymore. I think it was about just hanging out with friends, I
love it. Yeah, that's it really is the strength of WoW is the fact that you can play with so many friends and friends from all over the world, which is really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
What did Luxthos's first UI look like back in vanilla?
I've always played with add-on. I've always customized my UI. There was always information that I thought could better be conveyed, I guess. Mm-hmm. It was never like necessarily perfect, but I didn't do much back in the day. I remember Power Aura. I remember using like just displaying like huge ugly graphic and just, I don't know, I just needed like something to give me some alerts. And then I try to make it cleaner with some cute icons and just like messing around with some stuff. But I've always had add-ons. I've always customized my UI in some ways, but I always try to keep it as close to vanilla UI, I guess, as possible. Mm-hmm. I didn't want it to stray too much because there was a feel to it. There was always something that I liked about it with the way the bag opened and the sound that it made and the look that it had. And it felt very nostalgic to me to keep as much of that intact as possible when I was like doing UIs, but I just wanted some information to be conveyed slightly differently. So I didn't have like a full class HUD back in the day. Those weren't really a thing until the game got more complex, I think. But I had a lot of information, a lot of trinkets and some little cooldown that I was trying to keep track of. It was very, very ugly back then, but it was some info that I needed. I've always enjoyed trying to make it easier for myself to understand what I'm looking at. So that was a big part of what I liked. And I think I always liked a little bit like designing that sort of stuff. So
I like that. Did you have any like education in design, or was UI design something you were interested in as a kid growing up, going to school?
I love drawing and I love everything that was art related, I guess. And then I ended up working before I started streaming. I ended up working in web development a lot, and I did UX and UI design, accessibility stuff. So I was pretty big on making sure like websites were up to standards for accessibility stuff, making sure that, like everybody could check them out, even if you were using a screen reader, had sight or hearing issues or whatever, that every medium and everything was adapted to everybody pretty much. And so that was something that I was enjoying a lot working in. And I don't know if that as a kid, I knew that I was going to go into this, but I knew that I always liked when things looked good and usable, I guess is a word.
Yeah.
You know, like just, yeah.
I love that.
I always had that a thing for that, I guess.
We so your website, we're going to talk about like the journey of how we got there, but you're obviously, if you're in web development, did you built your own website, I'm guessing?
The fun part is when I left web development, I was so burned out of it. I was so done with it. And also I knew that if I built my own website from scratch, I knew that it would never release. And it's something that I've struggled my entire life with, is trying to start something. I'm somebody with a million ideas, but none of them ends up being finished. I never accomplish most of them because I dream a little bit too big. I see things a little bit too wide, and I get a lot of hyperfixation on just things that I want to do. And I knew that if I started building my website, it would have never been perfect. So I just decided, you know what, let's use like a theme and just go from there. I just want it to be out there, you know?
Okay. Don't let perfect get in the way of done.
Yeah, exactly. And that, I think that's how I managed to even start streaming in the first place, because at first I wanted everything to be perfect, right? The perfect, camera, the perfect everything. And then if you do that, you never do anything, right? You can't strive for it. So for the website, I need something functional. Let's put a theme, let's upload it, and then I'll figure it out later, which I never did. I'm still using the same website, but it wasn't necessarily something crazy important, like I didn't need it like a big website or anything. I just wanted to display some info on there and have a good time.
I love it. Let's talk through that journey then. So you get Warcraft, you fall in love with it, your friends start playing. How do we go from I'm playing this game to I want to be a content creator for this game, I want to stream for full time? Walk me through that.
So yeah, pretty much I was pretty much trying to find like what I wanted to do in life, and then I ended up landing a little bit on web development, which was kind of fun for a while and everything. And then but I ended up burning up quite a lot because of deadlines and trying to get everything is done is due for yesterday, and that was kind of the attitude a lot, and it burned me out a lot. And then I decided to start working from home for myself, doing some project. And at the time I was like, all right, you know what, I kind of want to start streaming. It was kind of that was like 7 years ago, I think in 2018, if I remember, something like that. I just left my current job and I was just doing stuff at home, little contracts, little things for people that I knew. And I was just kind of living on that and just trying to see where things were going. And I started streaming. I think the first game I streamed was, what was that game? The turn-based game where you, with the voice actor that has like the deep voice, the Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, great game.
I streamed Darkest Dungeon randomly. Nobody's watching. Nobody gives a rat anything. So I was like, okay, that's cool. That's fun. I'm talking to myself, trying to figure out how this all works. And then the pre-patch for BFA launches. We're at the end of Legion, and the pre-patch launches for that. And then I'm like, all right, let's go try to see how all of that is. Do the event that was there at the time, and we got to start working on our new UI. And that was the first time actually in Legion that I made for myself a little class HUD, which has like a couple of icons in the middle of the screen, and it had like a resources bar and all that stuff. And it was very, very small, but I remember that I did that because I wanted to track a couple of things better, because classes started getting a little bit more complex. And then I was like, you know what? I'm maining Rogue now. Let's go on my Rogue and let's log in and start working on a small UI. And I'm doing this on stream, and I have no idea what's about to happen. But people start trickling in, and they're like, yo, can you share that? Can you share the interface you're making? I'm like, sure. Okay, I have no idea how to share any of this. I didn't even know Wago was a thing at the time. I just put I think I ended up having like 6 group back then for all the modules for the UI I was making, because there was no way to group groups in WeCores. So I was creating like 6 different groups for all of these widgets. And then I put them in the paste bin, and I just make a quick YouTube video showing how to install them. And overnight that video just blew off. People started sharing it on Reddit, and the for me blowing off, like I started like my channel had 0 people watching it. Like I wasn't making any content, and the channel went to like, I don't know, like the video was getting 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 views, and I was like, what is going on? And then the next day, instead of 2 viewers, including my mom, I had 15 and 20, and people were like, yo, the thing you did for Rogue, can you make that for like every class? And I'm like, I guess. And then we just start on a journey of me making so, and then I was like, okay, I don't have a monk, I can't make a monk. And then people start donating money to me to pay for the leveling boost, and I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, just everything started like in 1 month, everything just exploded, going from just me making myself like a tiny UI for the next expansion, right? I just had no idea what was about to happen, and then the rest is just history, I guess. The rest is today.
I love that. Shout out to moms, the one viewer moms, keeping the stream dreams alive.
You know, I called my friend. I was like, "Yo, can you leave my stream open in the background? You don't have to watch. Just
leave it
just
up.
open it. Just chill and hang out there, so I can have not one viewer. Thank you." And
I love that.
Yeah, that was the beginning of it. And I was just making a UI for myself at the time. I was just trying to make my gameplay better and just, you know, like see some better information. And people apparently were enjoying what I was making. So I was like, okay, let's make it for other people. Let's share it. Let's show what I'm doing with others. And then from there, I was literally able within a year to almost do this full time, which blew my absolute mind, which is one of the main reasons the weak ores have stayed free forever, because I kind of made a promise to everyone, which was just, okay, we we just made something kind of crazy happen, like a big dream of mine, which was just to be streaming and doing this for a living. And all of this happened because you guys enjoyed what I made, so I'll keep it for free forever. Right?
That's really fast.
The vibe. Yeah, that's crazy. That was absolutely insane. The reaction to people, I guess, sharing something just for free like that, just people started like supporting me like crazy, and the community built up like super, super fast. And it was just, I felt like I was dreaming the entire time. I felt like it just felt like a weird dream I was going to wake out of at some point, and I just couldn't believe what was going on. And I just, yeah.
That's crazy.
And now we're here today.
I'm glad we're here today. You know, you're like every night, you're like, as long as Blizzard doesn't delete add-ons, I could do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But then at the same time, you know, like I've been, I took breaks from WoW, right? I started like playing like a bunch of other things, and I started doing like so much variety. And I knew at some point that I couldn't just be the WoW guy or the weak ore guy, even though like no matter what game I play, everybody is just like, oh shit, it's Lux. Right. I'm using your weak ore. It's either I'm using your weak ores or your weak ore sucks. It's either one of the, I get either like a ton of love or some weird random hate. Like
I love that.
That's just how it is.
Hey, your weak ores. You know, you don't have to use them, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, they're free. But people. That's why I say, like, when you introduce the show as you know, like the king of, I've always try to see myself as just a random dude that made ores for myself, and then I ended up sharing them, right? Like there's never been an intent. There's never been I don't think I'm the best at it. I try to keep telling that to myself, because it just makes it a lot more not only genuine, but it also puts a lot more pressure on my on myself, I guess, when I make them. Because they ended up becoming so popular that it kind of just, I don't know the right word to use, but it kind of just transcended this whole thing of just I just wanted to be like a random dude making ores, right? And now there's like such a large portion of the population that ended up using them, and that attracts all kinds of attention, good or bad, you know, and a lot more good than bad, I'll say, though.
Yeah,
a lot more.
Let's talk about that that process. You start making them, you're playing a class, you're enjoying it, you're like, and then somebody's coming in and saying, hey, can you make this for monk? Hey, can you make this for whatever? How do you know what abilities to track? Like, how do you, what's the design process then versus now? Obviously now I imagine it's much different in what to track.
Honestly, it's actually always been the same process. I would just I just literally log in on the class. First of all, I've been playing the game for so long that I've always had like I guess a little bit of experience playing almost everything. I've multi-class a lot in Legion, and I knew a little bit how everything kind of worked, but everything changes so much every expansion, you have to relearn it, right? But I think I have a pretty easy time understanding how most class play. I end up like just reading through the books. I'll go read guides about it. I'll ask the community. I'll go play it myself in a dungeon. I'll go through and just like try to figure out how the class play. And then I would just build a weak cores out of it. But a lot of it was community based too, right? Like I had people in my chat that were like, yeah, this thing, you don't really want to pay too much attention to it. And I was like, okay. So I would take some feedback from people. I would try to adapt based on that. And then I would try to play it, right? So that was always the biggest thing, is playing the class itself will highlight a lot of issues in what I was doing. And then so I was trying to put them to the test, do a little test drive if you. And yeah, I guess the weak cores of the classes that I was playing were always a little bit better because I was constantly test driving them. So there was always issue, or like everything that was like, because at the end of the day, it was from my perspective. It's always been, what do I want? And that has always made it like through my process. So what do I want to see? How do I want this information to be conveyed to me? How is my brain understanding my rotation better with this information? And then yeah, I would just go through that process for every class, every spec, and it was a lot of back and forth, I think, with the community as well. So that was pretty much it. Yeah.
I like that.
And then today, right, there's more people, so a lot more feedback. Obviously, like my Discord I have a ticket system which probably has like 20 unresolved ticket right now, and a chat that get question asked like pretty much like 10 questions a day or suggestions. It gets kind of crazy now.
Right. As the stream,
back in the day, I didn't have that.
As the stream grew, did you, like, along with the tools that you have now, the ticket system and the larger community, did you like start finding like, okay, this is somebody that I trust to come in and help answer these questions and help with the design? Like, did your team grow?
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty much doing this solo until Dragonflight. So in Dragonflight, so I was doing it solo for pretty much I've never had like anybody help through all of this. And then in Dragonflight, Blizzard added back the massive talent tree, because until then I've always been doing it like the with the previous talent tree, which was just like three choice per row. So it wasn't too complicated. If you pick choice A in the first row, then I display that. If you pick choice B, then I just replace it. Simple enough, right? Like you're either choosing option A or B, and then I display that. But then Blizzard comes out with the full talent tree, which is, hey, you can pick every option. It might not make sense, but you have every choice. And then I was like, oh my God, how am I going to implement that scenario where everything can be picked, even though it's probably not going to be the best build? There's going to be somebody that's going to do that, and then I don't want things to break, right? And then I had somebody from the community, which was actually Demus, one of my mod in my chat, which he's a programmer, and he was like, hey, maybe we could do like a little custom option or whatever to like do some stuff. And then my brain started firing in every direction, like, okay, shit, we can have it so that it stretches, and then we have overflow, and then things starts to. And then the weak cores kind of completely changed. And then it was mostly just me and him. He was helping me out with the programming, with the custom options. And then I was just doing the entire like designing part. So what needs to be where? What are the conditions for everything? What is everything, right? And all that good stuff. And yeah, it's been there. And then I have people helping out, and I have Frank that's helping out. He's answering like a bunch of questions on Discord. I never even asked, but he's just sitting there and he's helping people. And I'm like, this is kind of insane. I'm just watching it happen, and people help each other out over the weak cores, and it's so awesome to see. It's so awesome to see.
Love that.
People just chip in and help, and
everybody wants to help, man. It takes a village, right, to raise a weak core. I think is that the phrase, the old adage. Used to say. Yeah, back in the day. We just blew the doors off this key. Lux, do you have a few more minutes to keep talking, or?
Yeah, I'm free all night. Let's
Perfect. Go. All right, let's we'll transition off here. Thank you very much to the team for coming through, helping us in this dungeon. Appreciate all of you. Shout out to Euphoric, the guild. That's typically where I pull them from for NA. So
I just looked at my damage. Oh my God.
You did great.
Yeah, almost.
Nobody else can see it anymore, so it's okay. Yeah,
stuff.
You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I love the collaborative process it's become. I love seeing the growth there. What What were some of the challenges? Like you said, it took a year to get to full-time streaming. What were some of the challenges in that year that you saw, or was it really just like this serendipitous meeting for you that everything just went smooth?
Honestly, I'm extremely lucky that things ended up being as smooth as they were. I was lucky enough that I had a job that I was able to do a little bit at home. So I was taking, like a couple of design contract that I was kind of working on, and I was trying to do some stuff on the side, and then the rest of the day I was just, I mean, the full time during the day I was streaming, and then I was working on some stuff late at night. But then people, like, things blew up. Like recently, I looked at my Twitch stat just for fun, and like over the course of a month, I went from like 5 viewers to like 50. And
Yeah.
that's like, it was absolutely surreal. And then within a couple months, I was pushing, we were doing like partner push and all that stuff and trying to, like, and then like the support was just insane. I had like a couple of people that were like super super supportive at the beginning, and then thing kind of just took off from there. And then within like by the end of the year, I applied for partnership. So I started streaming in May, and the next year in May I got partnership on Twitch, which means that I was averaging like 75. And then at that time, like I where I live here, like the cost of life was like not super high. I had a tiny apartment, and I was like, okay, well, I can live on this. We're chilling, And at any point, if I needed more income, I could always go out and look for, like, hey, do you got a little website you want to work on or build or whatever? And then I could always like reach out to friends and stuff to have little jobs to work on and stuff. But I didn't need it to. Like, people just kept being like insanely supportive, and I was like, okay, this is turning out to be something I can maybe do and make a living out of. And now I'm streaming 7 days a week and just doing this pretty much every single day, but
I love it.
having a good time. And most days it's not even WoW. Like, I took an entire year break during Shadowland where I didn't touch World of Warcraft and that was kind of a nice little thing for me, because I was able to see that that things were working, even though we weren't,
Right.
just doing World of Warcraft. It wasn't just about the weak ores. It wasn't just about, which is something I've struggled to accept, I guess, or to,
Mhm.
because it's you never know why people are truly here. You never truly know what your worth is in all of this, or what you're truly bringing, or what the it made me ask a lot of questions. But it's a really really interesting world, streaming and content creation and all of that stuff, and sharing UIs and all of that. It's kind of very interesting.
I love that. It's validating when you turn on, Valorant or whatever, and they're still there. The viewers are still there. They're not there just for the weak or we are there. The weak ores are great, but we're also here for the Luxthos. We came for the weak ores. We stayed for the Luxthos.
That's the number one thing I hear. It's just, I came here because you made amazing weak ores. I follow the channel, and people just keep watching, even if I'm playing the dumbest new indie game that comes out that I'm just addicted to or whatever. And just people stick around, and just it's amazing. Like, sure, yeah, when we have a new WoW expansion and I'm doing the weak ore stuff and all that stuff, like it goes to, like the numbers goes up, and it feels good and all. But like, I'm excited for Midnight. We got the beta coming up. I want to work on some stuff there and all that stuff. But I love being able to just, like, treat WoW differently a little bit too, and just take it on and off, and just play whatever I feel like playing, and just, hang out with people and provide them with like a nice safe space they can come chat and hang out with.
I like that.
It's been fun for me.
Do you tackle the streaming like an actual? So I know some streamers are just sort of like they stream when they feel like it, and others, Mr. GM, for example, who he's very regimented. Like, these are my hours of streaming. These are the days that I stream. This is my off time. Where do you fall in that?
Yeah, Mr. GM, for example, is like, I wish I was able to do as much YouTube and all that. Like, he's I definitely see him as a YouTube creator, and then he streams on top of it, right? He's making like amazing high quality video, and he puts a lot of effort into those videos, so that's his primary, and then he fills in his schedule with like streaming, right? For me, ever since I've been a kid, I've always been interested in radio, right? I love chatting. I love talking to people. For me, the game in the background is almost secondary. I just want to chat with people. I just want to hang out, which means that I'm terrible at making content, because I'm terrible at recording videos. When I make them, also, English is not my first language. So if I mispronounce something, I restart 20 million times, and then I'm exhausted, and then nobody ends up watching the video anyway, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, I love streaming. I love chatting with people. I love the community aspect. I love the connection that we have. And right now I do this almost 7 days a week. I'll take 1 or 2 day off per month. I'm in a situation where that works right now, but you know, things might change in the future where I try to adapt a lot. But the biggest thing for me has been always Monday to Friday. I've been trying to have a what I call worker lurker schedule, right? And so it's a lot of people are sitting at work. They just want a little distraction from their day. Or I mean, we do have people that are coming back from work also from in EU, right? And they get home and then they just put on the stream and they just want a place to come chill and talk about everything else than what's happening in outside of them, right? They just want to chill with someone, share that it's their birthday, or share that, you know, like something bad happened, and I just welcome all of it. I just enjoy the human connection and the discussion I have with people.
I love that. You have an amazing radio voice, by the way. So
the microphone helps a lot.
I need to get one of those microphones.
They're sure SM7B, that thing.
Special shout out to Road. If you're listening, throw some sponsorship money this way.
Yeah, please.
Luxthos definitely makes your product sound good. I love that. So hot tip, I'm pretty good friends with Dan, and the number one top comments he gets on his videos is words he's pronounced wrong, to the point that I think he intentionally pronounces a word wrong in every video. So it's just huge engagement. So don't re-record. Lean into being French.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's for sure. I mean, I made a post about this on Twitter not long ago, because my entire comment section, if you want to have a good laugh, my entire comment section on YouTube is, why aren't you pronouncing S's? And I'm like, in French we don't pronounce them, so it's just not like instinctive for me. Like I don't pluralize stuff. I don't pronounce it, and it bugs people so much that I don't pronounce S's. Or my latest, I made a video about Unholy DK, and I pronounced, instead of saying Scourge Strike, I pronounce it Scourge Strike. And the entire comment section is just like, it doesn't bother me. It's not really that. It's just I realized, like, really, really early on, like sometimes I'll get hyper motivated to make videos. Like when Diablo 4 came out, I was making a guide almost every day, but then it ended up turning. I wasn't streaming anymore. I was trying to farm for content for making videos. So I was always thinking, okay, how do I make my next video? How do I do? And then I realized that I was becoming really, really sad, because I just wanted to be here and chill with people and talk with them. But I wasn't able to do that if my brain was constantly in content creation mode, which probably makes me the worst content creator of all, because I should be thinking and, you know, diversifying and making all that other stuff. But I feel like the experience that we have in the chat that we have, for me, that's what matters. So I'm trying to put a lot of energy into that. And yeah, sure, I should stream less and make more, like, you know, static format content and long form content, short form content. I should, 100%. Every once in a while, I go clip a couple stuff, and then I just, you know, whatever, my chat clips me out of context, and I'll just shove it on TikTok, Instagram, and all that stuff, and hope that something happens out of it. But at the end of the day, it's all about the talk. It's all about the day-to-day, just chatting and all that stuff. Yeah,
I love that. We could do a bunch of 6-7 memes that'll help you. I think that's I'm definitely
we have so many memes and
definitely way too old for that, but
yeah, people call me the part-time streamer when I take a day off a month.
That's funny. Yeah, one day off a month.
One of our biggest meme. One day off, part-time streamer. Also, millionaire streamer is also a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Twitter user is always my favorite.
Do they hit you with a Lambo? Are you driving a Lambo?
Yeah, I'm driving a Lambo. And I think, so my funniest meme is, one time Wowhead made an article about something that I posted on Twitter, and they referred to me as Luxthos Twitter user. And ever since, my community doesn't let that go. I'm no longer Luxthos creators of, you know, like Weak Ors. I'm Twitter user Luxthos. So that's just the meme forever now.
I love that. I love that. I do want to talk about Midnight and the upcoming add-on removal and the death of Weak Ors, maybe, and what that means for you going forward. But before I do, on your website, it says that you're a beard enthusiast. And I mean, I could see you have a beautiful face full of hair, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what at some point, can we get like beard content?
That's, you know what the weird part is that I've put like beard enthusiast in there, but at the end of the day, I don't even use beard oil. I don't even use anything. I just have a beard brush function on my stream where people make me brush my beard.
Yeah.
But I don't even do like anything crazy too. It's I cut it myself, so sometimes it's you know it's funky a little bit. It has personality. That's what I like to say.
I like that.
I haven't seen my face, I think, since I've been 16. So I don't know if I'm a beard enthusiast or I just don't want to see my face again. I don't know which one it is.
You're trapped. It's a prison of your own making.
Yep. Chad have always asked me how much to shave it, and every time I'm like, oh, like I don't have a real answer to this. I don't want to.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to pick a ridiculous number, but then they're going to hit it, and then I'm going to have to shave my beard.
Every time you tell Chad anything, like, hey, it's going to be like they're gonna find a way. But then I don't want to shave. I'm not that much of a money person. I don't. Everybody always tells me I should have charged for the week hours, but I'm not driven by income that much. It's fun to be comfortable, but I'm not really driven by money that much.
I think it speaks to your character, but it's also like a huge benefit. Like the community sort of cherishes you, you know, as like you create this thing that people at all levels of the game use, like CE raiders down to pet farmers. You know, people are like, oh, somebody says, oh, I got to find a week over this. Well, go get a Luxthos. Go get his class pack. What class you playing? You know, like go get that. And it even like, if you look at Blizzard's cooldown manager, it even sort of looks like a Luxthos week aura pack.
It does have, but to be fair, I mean the design of all of this has been something that's like there's so many talented people that ended up coming up with similar UI and similar stuff. You know, like it did like the first time that I saw it, I was like, oh my god, it's. But I mean, it's a very, you know, I'm not the one that created this layout. I definitely probably made it popular to a certain extent back then, and then like there's so many people that ended up having a similar design, right? Yeah, I've always seen it as there's a lot of people that always have praised the fact that it's been free, and I'm truly don't know if it's because I'm a good person or because I didn't want it to have the pressure of I guess I'll never know, but there's a big part of me that knows that if I charge for them, it would be like, I don't think it would be fun for me anymore, because then it becomes a job, and then it becomes right now it's just something that I was doing for fun, and it's always been really, really nice. But I've also always felt very, like I was saying earlier, I've always felt like I needed to give back a little bit for what people have allowed me to do for the past 7 years, right? Because content creation, I think, is definitely something that it's not something that what's the right word I'm trying to find here? It's definitely not something that you're not owed anything. People want you or they don't, right? It's people want to hang out with you and allow you to have this platform of this content to be able to be enjoyed by others, right? It's it's not something that I take for granted, and I've always thought to myself that keeping this free would be probably the best way to do it. And like a 50% part of it was just I didn't wanted the pressure that came with selling something or selling a product, and then having everybody because sometimes when a new patch comes out and I update them and then I get 12 ticket, like I just go like, okay, like and because they're free, I can decide, you know what, I'm not doing anything tonight, right? I'm not fixing them right now. I'm just gonna take a day to chill, and then we'll figure it out tomorrow or at a later time. Or I don't have that pressure on even though I still kind of do, but
Yeah, it's free and there's no pressure, but everybody knows that you're like, well, I got to fix this.
Yeah, I don't want people to go around like I know they have a raid coming up tonight, and I got to fix it before it breaks.
I love that. We're talking about breaking, and we're talking about weak auras and add-on. Let's talk about Midnight. What with weak auras previously stating, hey, we're not going to be developing for Midnight due to the changes in the API. Where does that put Luxthos weak auras, and where does that where are we headed?
Yeah, it's been a pretty big discussion in the past couple weeks and months now. I made like a little video about it because I wanted to kind of chat about it, but it kind of got kind of crazy how people got very, very emotional with all of this. And at the end of the day, like I think I've been prepared ever since Blizzard announced their initial intent with it. I knew it inside. Like I kind of felt like I knew that it was over for the weak hours. And I felt like people were super surprised, and I understand why, because like the communication from Blizzard has been pretty poor, but I felt like they did it intentionally so that people wouldn't riot, like without people getting excited about the expansion first, right? Like, because if you tell them like, hey, by the way, you don't know anything about the next expansion, but we're gonna absolutely obliterate your favorite add-ons, it's probably not gonna go well. So they probably like kind of kept it chill a little bit and made it like confusing and just like, hey, like we're probably gonna remove some stuff, but I felt like I knew it at the time, and I was already trying to find ideas as to what we could do. And one of them that I wanted to do initially was like, oh, we're just going to make a resources bar. And then we're going to plug that into, because that was the main issue that the cooldown manager didn't have, is it didn't have a pretty resources bar, the resource bar that would stretch and adapt to the size of whatever amount of icons you have and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, cool, let's make that. We're just going to make clean little, I'm going to make profile for the cooldown manager, and then we'll have I was already like kind of in let's like, okay, sure, we got a problem coming, it's not the end of the world, let's just find solutions, right? And but then we realized that we wouldn't even have resources anymore, but now they're back, so now I don't know what's happening, right? So like now I don't know if I don't think WeakOrs is going to be interested in, I don't want to speak for them, but I don't think they're going to be interested in developing an entire add-on just for maybe like a couple of feature like resources and things like that.
Yeah.
So probably either they're gonna do it, or somebody is gonna kind of take over, and somebody is either gonna take over and make like a little add-on that generates resources, and then we'll use that, or I have no idea what I'm gonna be doing next or what things are gonna look like. But I want to do cooldown manager profiles. So I was like, okay, so if people enjoy what I did with the WeakOrs, then what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna go into the beta when it launches. I'm gonna go through every single class and every single spec, and I'm gonna create pre-made cooldown managers. I was just, let's make profile for the cooldown manager, and I'm gonna do it like I would want to see it, and then I'm gonna be sharing that with people, right? So that's the goal, pretty much. So I try to approach it like, yeah, it's not fun that everything is shutting down. I definitely, there was a grieving, a little bit of grief in there. I was definitely upset at the start. I think I was like, I felt a little bit betrayed maybe by the whole thing, right? Because I felt like there was a lot of, I felt like World of Warcraft is what it is today because Blizzard has been able to be lenient about add-ons for 20 years, so they've been able to put the money and invest it elsewhere because they haven't had to make a basic functioning UI. They could just rely on the community to do it, and then the community stowed and rose up and did what it had to do. And now all of those people are out of a project. They're out of their baby, right? Like thinking about like pretty much every like major add-on that has been like carrying the weight of the playstyle of every single player, right? Like Detail, Plater, LVUI, or Achille, like he's been doing all of that stuff for free too, and now it's just like, well, goodbye, like the thing I've been working on for the past couple of years, that's gone, right? So I grieved a little bit. I think I was kind of angry at the start, and then it kind of slowly transformed into like, okay, well, there's nothing I can do about it, right? Even if I cry about it, even if sure, they could, maybe if we're enough to do it, they could listen to feedback, but at the end of the day, I agree with the decision they're taking as well, because I think the game needs it. It's getting overwhelming. I don't play alts anymore because classes are everything is just getting too overwhelming, and we need too many tools to and even me making the WeakOrs is absolutely insane how things are getting complicated. So
is there, early on in the alpha, we saw a tweet from you where you had like a visual redesign on the cooldown manager. Is there a Luxthos add-on that gives us functionality like centering the bars coming?
No, so I'm not a programmer. I know a little bit about programming, and I can read code and I can do a little bit of that, but I'm not a programmer. I don't want to be an add-on developer. I don't want to do any of that. But I was playing around with a little bit of tools and trying to figure out, like, just for fun, I was playing around with like ChatGPT and stuff, just trying to figure out if it could identify like what were the hook points that I could. And then somebody came into my chat and they were like, hey, I was working on something called like a CDM extended on retail. I don't have access to alpha. So I took his add-ons and then we ran it through ChatGPT real quick just to fix the queries that would, and then it started working on on alpha, and I was able to just skin the layout and have it be like borders and squares and zooming the icon and just like all the basic stuff that I enjoyed from styling with the WeakCores.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't do like anything else. It was very, very, very bare bone. And it was just kind of for fun. I just wanted to tease a little bit like, hey, here's what's possible, right? Not everything is, because everybody sees right now in retail the current cooldown manager, and it kind of looks blocky and blizzardy, and people are like, yeah, I want my clean borders and LVY look like back, you know? So I just wanted to show people like, hey, we can do something that looks nice with very minimal effort, right? That was like something that we kind of put together in less than like 30 minutes, right? So it was like, okay, you know, there's cases that I think are pretty bad for the removal of add-ons, especially like accessibility wise. But I think in terms of WeakCores and all that stuff, I think we'll be fine with the cooldown manager.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll adapt and it's going to be fine as long as we can have better resource tracking, because it doesn't seem like Blizzard is doing much in that case. So yeah, if we can edit resources and have something that looks good, I think cooldown manager is going to be totally fine. Like I can already see it. It's already shaping up to be like really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll be fine, right? So that was kind of where my attitude shifted, where I just went like, hey, this is not too bad. Okay. I can see where they're going, and if they deliver on everything that they seem to want to deliver on, we'll be totally fine.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the future, while it is good to be cautious, and I understand why some people are concerned, I do agree with you. I think the future is bright. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's a big fan of saying, don't worry, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. Like at the end of the day, there's things that I think are worth like having a little bit more like of a fighting stance against, right? Like there's things that I definitely don't agree with what they're doing, but and I'm giving feedback as much as I can, right? I'm posting stuff all the time that I disagree with or think that they're doing right, and I'm trying to give as much feedback as I can regarding that stuff. I think the game is going to be better for it. We're definitely like, as much as we tried to make the WeakCores like as performance to have better and good performance, like having all of this information, right? Like having like none of these add-ons necessarily take a lot of resources, but when you have Plater, when you have Detail, when you have WeakCores, when you have all of those things contacting the add-on API like nonstop during gameplay, during raid, it does affect your FPS, right? Whether you want it or not, whether even the best add-on out there programmed by the best people ever, they still take a little bit of resources, and everybody is pinging that same resources over and over again. And you end up losing 10, 15, 20, 30 FPS. And then that's a problem also that Blizzard is dealing with on a daily basis. You know, like they're just like, everybody's complaining that their game is lagging. And it's like, well, I mean, people have 20 add-ons that aren't updated from Burning Crusade, and then it's like, yeah, of course your game is lagging.
Yeah. Oh, you're lagging. You have a 3D model of a boss you fought three dungeons ago
they
in the
all
corner.
Have Pedro dancing with bloodlust, and it's like they have a million stuff, and it's like, I don't know why I'm lagging.
Yeah. Why do I always lag on pole?
Plater needs to be updated. I don't need to. It works.
That Pedro WeakCore, I want to shoot that right into the sun.
Like everybody has a million tool, like 18, and also like everybody ended up like making, like WeakCore became so accessible that everybody's making things that should be add-on, right? Like Achille used to make his entire thing in WeakCores, and then at some point he probably realized like, okay, this is getting quite crazy. I need to make an add-on for this, right? And then he did, and his stuff ends up being a little bit more smooth, right? Because at the end of the day, WeakCore is just a tool, right? And it gives you access to a lot more front-end development options that you don't have to know as much coding, which is why I'm able to do what I do. I know my way around, but my strength, or what I love to do, has always been based on UI and UX design as much as possible. Like, why isn't information needs to be conveyed, or how do I make it, you know, like more, how can I merge things together to save space? How can I, you know, display, like, for example, the Maelstrom bar for Shaman? Like, I had a ton of fun designing like just like a bar system that was, in my opinion, like a million times better than than anything was out there at the time, right? And that's the kind of stuff that makes me like absolutely thrive and be excited about making UI.
Yeah, you really want to nail down that user experience so that it's intuitive. And it's like, I mean, I'm an iPhone guy, and you look at an iPhone, you just know, your thumb just knows where to go. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it's all about also like having information that is visible even if you're not directly looking at it, right? That was always really important, right? So for the Shaman Maelstrom, for example, I came up with a system that was just once you're at 5 stack, once you're loading up your first 5 stack, the bar is like slightly desaturated in gray, so your eye isn't even seeing it. But as soon as you reach 5, which allows you to cast a spell instant cast, it becomes purple. So you, even without looking at your combo point or your Maelstrom, you knew that you had an instant cast spell. And then every application over 5 simply changed the color of the first one to be orange. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the first one became orange once you go to 6, 7, 8, 9. And then at 10, it became white. So without even ever looking at any of the nodes, just at seeing the color shift, you could be looking at the middle of your screen fighting monster. And as soon as you saw the orange or the white happen, you knew that you could use a spell, or you knew that you could do something. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily work well with people that have colorblind issues, but that's why like you also have the graphic to support it, right?
Yeah.
But so it was really, really good in that sense, and I love doing that kind of stuff, right? Being able to, you just look at the middle of your screen and you're able to see information a little bit better. So
I like that. With the background in accessibility during web development, do you have any concerns about accessibility issues heading into midnight? I know that's been a big
100%.
topic.
100%. And I pretty much have a solution that would be super, I think, easy to implement for Blizzard too, that I posted about, which is a ping system, like a contextual localized ping system that would fix pretty much every issue that has been raised by people. Because right now, like Blizzard is working on the a lot on the visual aspect, what the game is communicating. But I think like one of the big concerns that were risen is like all of these raids, when you have 20 people together, Blizzard does intend you to be able to communicate with each other, but some people aren't able to communicate with each other over voice if they can't hear, for example. So they're not able to convey, they're not able to talk to each other in a meaningful way using just basic game elements. Most people use Discord for this, right? They'll just hop into a call and then they'll be like, hey, I don't have a cooldown for you. You're going to need to use your shield wall or your defensive, because otherwise you're going to die on the next box mechanic, right? But if you can't talk or hear, then that no longer happens, right? And you have no way in the game of telling the other player that, because the game doesn't have any tool for it unless you start making a million macro, right? But that's what WeakOrs was being used for a lot of people, was like, hey, I need to communicate a ton of info about this fight to you. Here, I'm going to use WeakOrs to display text on your screen and just have a bunch of cool information displayed to you. But if you make a localized, a contextual ping system, that pretty much fixes everything, right? League of Legends is doing it wonderfully, where you can play the game, which is a team-based heavy team fight game, and you can do it without the chat or without communicating, because their ping system tells you everything. You can do like, I'm out of mana by just pinging your mana, right? Or I'm low health, or you literally just ping your spell that's on cooldown and it tells your entire chat, hey, this spell is on cooldown. So one thing that I wanted to see for World of Warcraft would have been like, what if I can ping, if I'm a healer and I ping my tank, I could have like a little wheel that has like maybe 4 options. One of them say, I got you, or whatever, right? Don't worry, like you're good. Or use a cooldown, because on the next ability that is about to come from this boss, I don't have anything for you. So you're going to need to use something. So you could just ping them and communicate that. But it would be based upon your role versus what role you're pinging, right? Or if you're a healer and you ping your mana, it announces it in chat, and or in the middle of your screen, because you're a tank, right? And you need to worry about a healer's mana. It shows in the middle of your screen. It shows, hey, you have your healer is running out of mana. Maybe you want to slow down, right? You could ping pretty much any part of the interface, and you could communicate every information, and that wouldn't even be hard to implement. That's super easy to do, right?
That's brilliant. Is my genuine answer. My snarky answer is, what do I ping to tell my jungle mid that he's terrible and should uninstall the game?
That you just yell it. You just yell that.
I don't actually play League of Legends, but I've heard those words before.
Yeah, I mean, so in League of Legends, you blame the jungler for everything. So if anything happens, it's the jungler's fault, right? So, but in World of Warcraft, we just blame healers.
Right, blame the healers.
So the healers are the junglers in World of Warcraft.
If
the tank,
I love that.
Like, pulled too much, it's the healer's fault.
Always the healer's fault. Yeah, DPS and stuff. Yeah. Come on, healer, heal through that.
Heal. You just heal through it.
Heal through it. That's Blizzard. If you're listening, and you might be, please put that like at the top of the list. That sounds amazing. To have a healer be able to just ping their mana or click their mana and have a ping show up on the tank. Hey, I'm low on mana.
Almost like 90% of the accessibility issue, that because Blizzard is doing a lot of good stuff right now. and they're adding like so many good things with like colors and like contrast of colors and sound alerts as well, so that if you have lower visibility, you can always have sounds to help you out, and like so that's fantastic. But the problem is communicating to other player about things that are happening in the game, right? And yeah, so that would be super cool. Or being able to tell somebody like you ping like a certain area, and then it could make like a like there's so many cool stuff that could be done.
I love that. I have two last questions. The last one's super easy, but the one before that is a personal question. This is for me. So anybody who's listening, I'm sorry, but I'm very curious. Every now and then you show us a picture of your stream room and like your dual monitor setup. And I think it's actually more than 2 monitors. I just wondered if you could talk me through like your setup, your streaming setup, and like, was it all self-taught or did you get tips from someone on how to do all that? Cause I love it.
I've always enjoyed having this style of. I've always had 3 monitors. I don't know why. I've always that's always been something that I enjoy. And so the big thing that I did was first get a standing desk. I wanted to be able to stand up every once in a while. And yeah, I just got 3 monitors. Pretty much, one is vertical for the chat, one is for gameplay, the other one is for Discord, Twitter, all that stuff. And I have a monitor that's on the wall, which is my second PC. So it's my streaming PC, and it's just the TV. So I got like a cheap TV, got it on the wall, and that one is just plugged to the streaming PC. So my OBS is showing on my wall there.
Okay.
And so I can see all my good stuff there. So that's cool. And pretty much everything else is pretty standard. I wanted to have as much cool stuff in the background because I used to stream with a green screen before. I used to have like an Elgato like green screen that I would roll, and then it was cool, but I was like, I've always wanted to show like all my geeky, nerdy stuff and share that with the community. So I got like a bunch of cards, magic cards, and Pokemon, and Lorcana, and statue, and all that kind of stuff in the background. My chat can change the color of the lights, so they can choose to make it blue right now if I ask them, and it's going to go blue. And just because I asked, he's going to make it go red. Of course. Tell chat to do one thing.
Is that just through a chat command? Like they enter a chat command and then it changes the color of the light?
Yeah, it's a software called Lumia Streams, and it works with pretty much every intelligent light. And then it automatically connects to Twitch, and then you can make a point redeem system. So that you can use a point redeem to redeem whatever color, and then it will change the color. Oh, I rebooted my PC, so it doesn't work. There we go. There's always something that doesn't work. I have to boot up the software on my end, and then it works out.
That's
yeah, crazy. So that's pretty cool. So I wanted to have like a cool thing that people could interact with and do some fun stuff. Everything else is just pretty straightforward. I got a mixer. I got my big Shure SM7B, and yeah, everything else is pretty straightforward. I just wanted it to be like a thing where people would ask questions. Also, like I love like I'll wear a metal band shirt, and then people just ask me like, "Oh shit, you listen to," like it gets people interacting, right? It's always been the main thing for me. I just wanted to have the people asking questions about things they see, and what is that TV in the background? I use the TV in the background to put stupid stuff. Like on Halloween, we did like a little fun stream, and then we had a bunch of funny pictures in the back, and we do some fun stuff with that.
Love that. I love that. Thank you so much for that. It's, if there's ever a Luxthos room tour coming up, let me know. I'll like that 100 times. For
sure. If you have any question, I'll absolutely answer every single one of them for the stuff that I have.
That's great. All right, my last question, sir, because I want to be cognizant of your time. What does the future hold for Luxthos?
Hopefully I get to do this. Honestly, I'm not someone that I should do that more often, and that's probably one of my biggest issues. But I don't project myself too much. I don't see too far out. I'm somebody that's generally anxious, and seeing too far out is just usually anxiety inducing for me. So I tend to wake up every day and I try to tackle the day by the day kind of type of thing, which sometimes can be amazing because it keeps me sane through all of this, but sometimes it doesn't prepare you for what's to come. And right now, in terms of, like streaming, I just, I play WoW when a new expansion comes out. I'll play for a couple weeks, couple months, as long as it's fun and fresh for me. New seasons, I'll play for, like this season, I blasted everything at 12 almost, but then it got boring a little bit. So I kind of just doze off, played a bunch of other games, jumped on Diablo, Path of Exile, and, like I play pretty much everything. A couple of days ago, I was playing Factorio for the first time. I I started playing single player games, which I never did in my life. And you know, like I play literally everything. So I want to keep doing that because that makes me happy.
Mhm.
And the more people that, you know, hang out and chat with me and have a good time with me while I just share my love for gaming, that makes me really happy. So that's what I hope is for the future of Luxthos. I want to still make UI for World of Warcraft. I would love to do more of those. I don't know what format and how things are going to look like because obviously, you know, we're going to have a change of tools. But tomorrow's the beta coming out. Tomorrow's the beta. I don't know if it's going to be playable, but hopefully as soon as it's playable, I want to jump in and start playing with a cooldown manager, see what I can do. If I can make people's life a little bit easier and they don't have to think about like, oh, I gotta log in and go on every class and every spec, and like Blizzard didn't put anything correctly in the right order. I don't want to go through that, but I kind of have to. I want to be. I'm gonna be there. You'll be able to still have the same, you know, reflex that you had with my weak cores, which is just, oh, I'm just gonna go download whatever Luxthos put together, and I'll just load that in, and hopefully it all works, and I don't have to figure it out too much, you know. And that's kind of what I do. So I'm just hoping nothing changes. That's what it comes down to, because I'm super happy right now. I love doing what I do, and there's not a single day almost in the past 7 years that I haven't woken up and just I feel excited to start my day, right? And that's something that previously with my previous stuff that I was doing, that wasn't the case all the time. Sometimes I wanted to stay in bed and just not go out, but now it's every single day. Like I've been sick, sure, and there's been times where it's been a little bit more tough, but in general, like every single day that I've waken up in the past 7 years, I've been excited to get on and stream. It's never been something that I've went backward towards, or I've always faced it, and I've always wanted to do more and chat with people and hang out and make UIs and have fun.
Love that. That's a great
That's
answer.
what I hope the future is.
More of the same. More of the same.
Yeah, I'm happy now. I don't want things to, you know.
Yeah, why would I want this to change? Luxthos, sir, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I had a blast.
Thank you so much for having me. That was really, really fun. Also, that made me do a key because I don't have a Volt otherwise tomorrow. So
hey, now you got a Volt. You have something to do while you wait for the beta.
Exactly. I get to be disappointed while waiting for the beta.
That's right. Listeners, thank you so much for spending your time with us. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you want to race against us, you can race against our Mythic Plus replay for this Soleil's Gambit. The link will be in the description of the video or the podcast, wherever you're listening to this or consuming this. You can get that link there. So throw it into your RaiderIO add-on Mythic Plus replay and race against us. See if you can beat us. You're going to have a hard time. We did pretty good. We will see you next week with a new episode. And remember, in a world where you can be anything, be kind.